Okay, so you guys, we're going to talk about test taking and anxiety that comes from test taking. And what we're going to use is we're going to use the ball of talking. So when you have the ball, you can talk. And if you want to say something, ask for the ball, and you guys can use the ball. So first off, I'm going to go to MJ here. And what kind of anxiety do you have when you take tests?
Oh Lord. Because I don't have like.
Do you have anxiety when you take tests?
Not really.
Not really. So you're pretty good at this then.
I suppose.
So what do you do? How is it that you're so good at it?
Just remember that if you mess up, then you're gonna mess up. There's nothing worse that can happen besides getting a bad grade.
Okay. Pass the ball to Gio. How about you, Gio?
I have anxiety before the test, none during, and very much afterwards.
So not during.
Yes.
So you're good during the test. It's just before and after you're not good at.
Yes.
So what causes the anxiety beforehand?
Is like scared that I didn't study enough, or that what I'm doing is not enough to prepare me for the test, or that like there'll be surprise questions or things like that.
But you're good when you take the test. So when you take the test, are you confident that you did well on it?
Afterwards, no.
Afterwards, no. But when you're taking it, you're pretty confident.
Yes, I'm calm. Just keep level head.
Okay.
See what you can do.
Right. Go ahead and pass it to Victoria. How about you?
Mine's more like, well, I start really with a lot of anxiety, and then when the test comes, I'm very aggressive, and then after I go back to having anxiety.
So what do you mean by very aggressive?
Like, I'll say, oh, I'm ready, I'm good, I got this, trying to pep myself up, and then I take the test, and then I don't know what I have, so I'll go up to the teacher and ask.
Okay.
She corrected it.
So how about this? Do you guys have anything you guys want to add? What do you things you guys want to add as far as just general anxiety stuff about taking tests?
I don't know, like.
Give advice. Study the hell out of it.
Study it. All right. Study like crazy. But here, I'll take the ball. Okay. What's your advice?
If you're having a test and you know it, study as much as you can, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30, as much as you can. Or at least try to remember the day before. Something, anything.
What are some other good ways to make sure you're taking a good test? What are some good practices that you can do to make sure that you're comfortable and confident and you can cut back on your anxiety?
Breathing exercises.
Band breathing exercises, okay.
Band breathing exercises. Keeping just level air, just relaxing, and making sure nothing stresses you out. Just as calm as you can do. There's a food you like to eat that. There's a snack you like, eat a fruit, or I don't know, something. Just
So full bellies?
yes.
I'm gonna pick on MJ again because it's fun. It's fun to pick on MJ. So how about this? You're really good at this. You don't get nervous. How can you be concerned about your grade, but still not gain your anxiety? Because you said, if you get a bad grade, you better get it. But what can you do to make sure that you are comfortable and confident, so you're not thinking, if I get a bad grade, I better get, so you want to do the best you can.
Look for my happy place.
What's your happy place?
This place.
The band room? The drums?
Oh yeah, in the kitchen. I just know.
You love the kitchen. Are you going to be a chef?
I don't know.
No. Okay. And how about you? What can you do? Give them some pointers as far as what they could do.
Before a test?
Before, during, after? Whatever helps you.
Well, before a test, I usually sit more in a quiet area and listen to some like classical music.
So avoid some distractions?
Yes, and to focus, because I have a very small tolerance of focusing in this physics subject, so I try to focus and try to study without being distracted.
Okay. Well, how about you guys talk amongst yourselves? I want to see where you guys take this. So go ahead and just talk to each other. You can use the ball or not use the ball. It's your choice. You want the ball.
It's not open.
Well, talk to each other.
Well, I don't know, like, what do you usually do?
What do I do for before a test or after a test?
Not before or after.
Kind of like that, actually. Listen to some music. I usually just listen to jazz. If I can study to it and I do it, just find my focus zone and stay calm.
Do you guys listen to music when you were studying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, keep going.
Music without words, because then I'll start writing like the music on the paper.
Start writing the lyrics. Same
2 + 2
thing. I don't know. Do you guys, like you said, I like to cook too. So like I'll do that like the night before. Like I'll bake some cupcakes or something. Just
You do bake a lot of things.
I like baking.
And then I ate it.
And you say,
Yeah,
I like
he's
baking.
not here anymore.
See, or like finding calmness with friends, just relaxing a little.
And what are your study habits beforehand? Do you guys wait until the last minute, or like? Because I had that tendency when I was in high school to, well, I've got a couple more days until that test. Or are you guys like better than I was?
Well, I use that on purpose though. I study at the last minute because it helps me, like, it's fresh in my mind. So it helps me retain it better.
I do that too. I used to study right up until I'd be sitting in the hallways studying my last minute stuff, just so it was fresh in my mind. But like I said, I was pretty bad when it came to wait until the last minute. So that usually sometimes that was like the first time I was really going through the material and really trying to lock it in was right before the test. But I was one of those people who I didn't have that testing anxiety. I was pretty solid in that. So you guys, it's all different.
I rarely study.
You rarely study.
I'll study for the important test, and of course safety exams, all that stuff.
What about like the monogams?
I don't have them.
My studying schedule is really all over the place. Sometimes I'll study right after I get the material, the day I got it. Sometimes last minute, then first day, then middle, then not study the last day to get fresh. It's just mixed.
So do you retain stuff really well?
Not for chemistry.
No, so certain subjects, but not so much that one.
I hate science. The good thing is involved in math, so I can kind of master it.
Yeah. Science has some cool, like when you get into chemistry, there's some really cool reactions. If you get a good teacher, they can show you some really neat stuff.
That is right.
I made cookies today.
That's a science. That is a science. Baking is a science, particularly baking.
It did not taste good.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything else you can think of?
Staying school kids.
I don't know, like, I know there's certain people that have, like, rituals before tests, like, they have to listen to a specific song, or they chew, like, or they eat, like, a specific food, or they read a specific thing, like, they have little rituals before tests, and that seems to help them, so.
If it helps you, it helps.
Like a routine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's always the same thing over and over. Anything for you? Any last closing comments?
Not that I know of.
All right. So what we're gonna do this 3 times, okay? And then next week we'll do this again. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on what we could do to help people who have like a lot of testing anxiety, particularly when they're taking the tests. So maybe we'll come up with some ideas over the next week. Think about kind of things that, like talk to your friends. Hey, do you have a lot of testing anxiety? What can I? What do you do? So talk to some other people. Don't just just keep it right here. Because the nice thing about this class is we can actually take this out into the real classrooms and actually help people out. So talk to people, but also find out maybe come up with some other ideas for stuff that where it's I know like my friend is having a really hard time with this. Maybe if I help them with this, or if I told them about this idea that we come up with in here, so we can kind of brainstorm and come up with some cool stuff that'll actually help people out there. All right, cool. Thanks, guys.